So how do you buy players in FC25? Now naturally you've got to be near the transfer window for this to happen, and you need to go into your transfers. So depending on what position you need, you'll obviously be looking through your squad hub quite a lot. You can see that the contracts go in, so if you go into the financial, you can see who you potentially will need to replace in a year's time and kind of work towards what your team needs to be revitalized. So Man U, I need 22 players, all brand new. But if we carry on with that, say for instance, I'm still looking for a centre-back. We've not found one yet. We absolutely need one. We want to go into either the transfer hub. We look at scouts. They're going to give us good reports. I don't get how there's a Liverpool player there. We know that's never going to happen. But if we wanted to search players ourselves, for instance, we can obviously go and do that. So, for instance, we want to go defender, and we're thinking, you know what, we need a centre-back. So then we've got the parameters of age. So we're looking potentially for someone between 16 and 25. We'll then submit the search. From here, we can kind of do our own scouting report sort of thing. So you can obviously have a look through and you can see, okay, we're looking at these sort of players. Who's going to be in our sort of repertoire? Now, obviously, we don't know ratings or potentials yet, so we want to kind of go out. So we're thinking, okay, we'll have a look and ask someone to scout them. We can shortlist them in the transfer hub. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask a scout for this one, and then depending on how many scouts you've got and how long it will take, we can obviously go ahead and scout a few. If obviously you're looking at a few players maybe on the younger side, then we can obviously scout them and shortlist them just to see how they go with everything. And that's kind of where you'd go to start the scouting process. And then once you've kind of scouted them, we can then obviously have a look at potentially buying them in the new transfer window as such. When it comes to players they have scouted, for instance, or at least they're on the list, we can have a look at them straight from here and we can kind of go with the suggestions they're going for. So Somerville was always a great one. I think he was a great submission. We could have a look at Gueye, Todibo we could put in, and then you've just got to basically wait a couple of weeks. So as we're looking at players on the shortlist, you can obviously go ahead and look to loan them. You can look to buy them if you really wanted to. So for instance, we can go approach to buy here. This player is currently on loan at another club, so we can't do that. But for instance, if we was to go and look for somebody that potentially is looking, this will go and trigger the cutscene as always. So we can obviously offer a transfer fee. We don't know the market value because obviously he's not been shortlisted. So we say we're going to go, he's 25, we'll give him 10 million. I don't know anything about him. This is why you do need to shortlist as well. Obviously, we'd go for the advance. We'll submit the offer there, and they would potentially go and give us an unreasonable offer. So potentially we've overpaid for him. So that's going to be an interesting one to see regardless. But obviously with that one, that's pretty much all you've got to do. It's one of them things that if you've got the obvious scouting on them, that's going to give you more of an indication on what you need to offer, and you don't go too over it basically. So for instance, if you're looking here, we can obviously shortlist, we can obviously ask to view, and then we can kind of go and have a look and think, you know what, we kind of need him now. We don't want to get anybody else on him. So for instance, we are to look at, where did he go? 19 years old, there he is. So we're looking to approach to buy him. He's still in there. We've obviously got a little bit of scouting, but nothing crazy. So we kind of have to go with a transfer fee. So say we was to go really low ball, we'll go 4 million for him. More than likely he's going to be worth more than 4 million, but it depends on their counter offer. So I'd say it's a real offer. We'd be happy with terms. We'll get the paperwork in order to finalize the deal. More than likely, I should not be a manager at this. But that is pretty much all you got to do. If I just give everybody all the money, it's nice and easy. So let's see if we can approach somebody else. And we'll go super cheap. Because I want to show you the kind of counter offer that would go for. So we're going to go and go 1 million. No, we're not even going to go 1 million. We're going to go 500,000. See what they offer. Potentially, they should come back with a counter. He's got... Oh, I need to find a team. So let's go with Bournemouth. We know he's worth more than 1 million. We're going to go with 100 grand. There is no way they are going to go for 100 grand. If they do, I have finessed the game entirely. So submit the offer. We're going to look, I feel like I've wasted my time here, and this is what you've got to be careful of. Sometimes they will go against it. Again, if we look at somebody who's not necessarily in the biggest team, they should give you a lovely counter offer as well. And it's kind of like anything. We'll go here, we'll go 100 grand for him. Let's see if we can get anything edited off him. Beautiful. Submit the offer. and sometimes, yeah, they will go 2 under. So you've always got to make sure that you've got everything going for you. Again, we could try and potentially go again with him in the near future, but at the minute, it is going to be rejected.